Okay, so if it's one thing that we know that's been transpiring over these past several, I can't say months anymore, but honestly, a couple years now, it's almost been that we've been in this pandemic. The mass majority of people have been struggling to some extent, some more than others, some worse than others. And one thing that we all know, one thing that has been very consistent, is that the ultra wealthy have been doing quite fine throughout this entire ordeal. In fact, they've done better than they've ever been doing before. This is from Axios. One big thing: the boat boom won't let up. Check this out because this is absolutely amazing. Super yacht builders are entering the new year with more boats on order than ever. As you know, we are experiencing a current inflation. Well, guess what? There's also an inflation going on in the super yacht industry. I wonder why. The mega rich, whose wealth ballooned during the pandemic, sought out giant yachts at record rates for private refuge from the virus. Wow, that's amazing that they can do that. I wish I could. And there are fresh signs it isn't letting up per Boat International's annual report out this week. The lack of travel and desire to isolate has been universally good for the boat industry. Princess Yachts Will Green says in the report, the entry companies have all but stopped building yachts on spec because of the wild demand. Number of boats built without owners hit the lowest level on record. Those with the means will be hard pressed to find a semi-custom yacht available for purchase before 2024, a historic wait time as demand soars and component shortages bite. Between the lines, the Octopus, one of the world's biggest yachts, first commissioned by Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen, was the priciest yacht sale of the year, about $260 million. Wow. So the boat industry, the super yacht industry, is doing extremely well, and they've published a global order over 1,000 super yacht projects in order in 2022. Despite some initial wobbles in 2020 when COVID-19 first struck, the super yacht industry has largely shrugged off the pandemic to record a third year of consistent order book growth. The 2022 global order records an impressive 1,024 projects in build or on order, a rise of 24.7% on last year's 821. Wow. And I mean, this just goes on and on. It's a very extensive report, and I won't divulge into the entire thing. If you would like to read it, I'll try to link it down below. If not, you can seek it out for yourself. But this is outstanding. This is outstanding. While millions of Americans are struggling, we're struggling, the super rich are doing perfectly fine. In fact, they're doing better. They're doing so good, they can go purchase 5 new yachts, 5 new super yachts. And that's where they have their quarantine, on the yacht. You know, they don't have to limp into work wearing the mask with the terrible working conditions, try to social distance, and, all the rest of it that we know we have to go through. Nah, I'll just go spend $100 million on a yacht. I don't have to wear a mask. I can get vaccinated if I so may choose. But I'll be fine. Out on the water in front of the sunset with my family. Wow, how fortunate. This is from the Institute for Policy Studies. And this was published back in August. So it's gotten even worse now. And of course, certain details are different. But U.S. billionaires got 62% richer during the pandemic. They are now up $1.8 trillion. I'm just going to give you a little bit of this report. U.S. billionaires have seen their wealth surge. And once again, this is from August, so it's even more exacerbated now. They have seen their wealth surge $1.8 trillion during the pandemic, their collective fortune skyrocketing by nearly 2/3, 62%, from just short of $3 trillion at the start of the COVID crisis on March 18, 2020, to $4.8 trillion on August 17, 2021. According to a report from Americans for Tax Fairness, the Institute for Policy Studies program on inequality, a table of the top 15 billionaires is below, and the full data set is here. Elon Musk has seen his wealth increase by an eye-popping $150 billion during the pandemic, a gain of over 600%. Not only did the wealth of the billionaires grow, but so did their numbers. In March of last year, there were 614 Americans with 10-figure bank accounts. This August, there are 708. Their $1.8 trillion of increased wealth alone over the 17 months will not be taxed unless they sell their assets. Would pay for more than half of Biden's 10-year, $3.5 trillion investment package. Now, like I said, this is back in August. That $3.5 trillion investment package is no more. It is now $1.75 trillion. But notice something here. The amount of wealth that these billionaires have incurred over 17 months, 1-7, is more than the infrastructure package that our politicians are trying to sell to us, which is a payment over the course of a decade. That $1.75 trillion, they always say $1.75 trillion, that's how much it's going to cost over the course of 10 years. These billionaires made more than that in 17 months. I'm speaking slowly because I want you to understand what's happening here. You're being robbed. That's exactly what's happening here. The Rand Corporation did a study. I always fall back on this. And the fact that they did this study, and we know that it's kind of insufficient because they may have miscounted certain things. So it's actually probably more than that. But this is an amazing study nonetheless, and they deserve a lot of credit for it. They did a study where the top 1% effectively stole from the bottom 90%, $50 trillion. If the same order of wealth distribution had stayed consistent from the middle of the 1970s to now, every American would be $1,144 richer every single month, every single year for the rest of their fucking lives. And if you compare what Americans are making now to what they would be making if the wealth distribution had stayed the same since the middle of the 1970s, my God, is it an astronomical difference. This is the fucking problem. This is the fucking problem. All of the money is being shoveled to the top, and they're living their best lives while everybody else struggles. This system that we have promotes this type of nonsense. And we have politicians who have been bought and are owned by these same individuals that have raked in this 1.7 or this $1.8 trillion mass of wealth, along with Big Pharma, the military industrial complex, the health insurance companies, and everybody else. But they own the fucking system. This is what this kind of wealth does to a society. You know, it puts people in the position to go, hey, I have a lot of money. If the mass of people who are struggling right now realize that they could take some of this for themselves, which they deserve, they work harder than I ever will. I just sit around and monitor stocks. They're going to try and take some of it. So you know what I'll do? I'll just buy all the politicians up and keep having my way. Now let me ask you, is that a fair system? Does that system guarantee equal opportunity? Not equality of outcome, but equal opportunity. We all want to start at the 1 yard line. We don't need people starting at the 1 yard line, people starting at the -10, and then this billionaire child starting at the 10 on the opposite side of the field. No, that's not fair at all. There needs to be a mass reconstructing of this system. And by that I mean there needs to be a new system, because this one obviously is incredibly inadequate.